Hello students, how are you today? Today Sean teacher is going to show you how to draw a sailboat kind of like Winslow Homer would do it. Okay? So stick around and you and I will make a sailboat, okay? Okay, so the first thing I want you to understand is that I'm using a pen. You should probably use a pencil because I'm using this so you can see my lines easier. That makes sense. Anyway, also remember that when we're doing this thing, if it goes too fast for you or I do something you don't understand, just stop the video, go back, watch that part again until you get it. Okay? Alright. Let's start by making a mast for our boat. And the mast is just the big pole that holds the sail. So we're going to try to make almost a straight line from about the middle of our paper to almost the top of our paper. It gets skinnier at the top. Like that. And we want to think about this being right in the floor or the middle of the boat. Right in the center of the boat, kind of in its center of gravity. So I'm going to draw a little semicircle there because we know the pole is round, right? And then I'm going to kind of draw the back side of the boat so that I can see about where everything's going to be. So this boat's going to be kind of sailing from the left to the right. That's what I'm thinking anyway. And when I draw this line, it's kind of important to make sure it doesn't go through the mast. If it goes through the mast, then it doesn't look very good. I want to make it go behind the mast. Something like that. That looks pretty good. And then I'm going to have the same thing over here on this side. It's going to be the front of the boat. Like that. Yeah. So now we can kind of see where the sides of our boat are going to be. That's nice. So now would probably be a good time to draw the back of the boat. So I'm just going to draw a straight line across like that. Yours doesn't have to be exactly like mine. And I know the back of the boat's going to be sort of round-sided. So I'm going to make kind of round sides here. And they don't have to be very big. Kind of like that. Because the water's going to be here eventually. Right? So now I want to see the inside of the boat. So I'm going to draw a line. It kind of matches that line. And I want to see the floor. So I can draw these boards on the floor. But they kind of go this way. So I'm going to draw these boards on the floor. And I don't want to draw lines through my mast or through the side. So I have to be very careful to get in between the lines. And I have to be careful to make sure the boards go kind of all in the same direction. Because this is the floor of our boat. We don't want it to sink. Something like that. And because the guys who built this boat had to use different sized boards, we're going to show that some of these boards have been cut off somewhere. So we're going to make these kind of lines like this. And it shows these boards, not every single one, but some of these boards were shorter than the others, so they had to put them together like that. And that kind of makes for something that makes it look a little neater. Maybe we'll make the front of our boat right here. Like that. Yeah, this is starting to look like a boat. Now probably, I'm not going to say it's the hardest thing to make, but something we should think about now is making our sail. And the sail, you want to make sure it kind of goes in the same direction as some of the other lines. I know that doesn't make much sense right now, but it will in a second. You want to think about your, this thing is called the boom, and the boom is what holds the sail onto the mast. So we're going to make something like this. That's going to be our sail. And the sail is going to go behind the mast. So we can't draw our line through the mast, can we? Moreover, we can't draw it through our boat. So we're going to draw a line something like this. Okay, just till it almost touches. And then draw another line like that. And with those sort of curved lines, it looks like our sail is full of air. Yeah, so it's catching the air. And we can draw all manner of sort of, you know, ropes and pulleys and other things here that we can imagine. But right now, let's try to kind of keep it simple so that it's not too complicated. But yeah, that's a pretty good sail. I think that looks nice. Believe it or not, we're not too far from being done. What I'd like you to see now is kind of how to make the water. And when you make the water, you're going to make the horizon line too, sort of the difference between the water and the sky. I want you to relax your hand. Think your hand is like, I don't know, like water, but just make, kind of thinking about here being the horizon, because you want the boat to be going towards the sky. It's sailing away. And I'm just going to kind of do a wavy line like that, because the water it's very wavy. Once I do that, I can kind of make some lines like this. Once I do that, I can make my boat in the water. And same thing here. So now it kind of looks like it's floating in the water. Maybe I'll make one more line here. On the back of the... So what could you add to this? Could you add ropes? Could you add a name on the back of the boat? Could you add a shark, or could you add a porpoise jumping? Could you add birds? Maybe you could add clouds. Maybe you could add another ship on the horizon. Winslow Homer did that a lot. Maybe you could add boards on the outside, like this. Not a lot of them, just one or two. And when you think about coloring these, you want to think about coloring them different colors of brown or white, whatever you're going to use. Maybe your boat will be blue. I don't know. It'd have to be a different blue than the water, but maybe the water will be green because the sky is going to be blue, right? So there's lots of choices for color here. There's usually always a rope that goes from the top of the mast down to the front of the boat. We could do that. Don't make it go through your sail though. You can make two more ropes up to the top if you wanted. You can make ropes go all over the place and pulleys. Maybe I'll make one going this way and one going here. Yeah, that looks cool. So pretty soon, I've got a sailboat going. Now, I'm going to warn you. When you color this, you should use crayons. Don't use markers. The markers soak up into the paper and it ruins your artwork. You might want to think about taking a dark marker like this one and just going over the outlines, but don't color it with a marker. When you use your crayons or coloring pencils, make sure to take your time and color it so there's no white spaces left in between. Make it solid color. Okay? Don't hurry through this. Try to make it a good job. Okay? All right. You did a marvelous job. Thank you. Bye-bye.